Thank you for visiting the Coin Lady channel again. In this video, I will present several insights from XRP chart experts, including one who believes that $10 plus XRP is almost surely a reality now. Plus, I won't be surprised if we don't reach that level, even if I don't usually forecast prices. Everything you need to know, including the fact that Bitcoin has reached a new all-time high or the convergence of different indicators, is right here in these markets. If we aren't getting up in that range, I'd be surprised. Additionally, I'd want to provide some thoughts on the upcoming Bitcoin news, which is still dominating the market, but we'll get to that with a Ben Affleck joke. Of course, Bitcoin fell after reaching a new all-time high. Do I really need to explain this? Just look at your damn phone, TV, or whatever it is that you're using to listen to me. Of course, XRP mimicked it, so now you can see a smaller, more anxious Ben Affleck smoking a cig next to the larger, more famous actor. Digital currency. Unfortunately, XRP is not working for me today. Of course, I'll be sure to copy you, my friend. Ah, I remember that one. All right, just so we're clear, I am not receiving any sort of financial support from anyone. My counsel has nothing to do with money. Additionally, you must not to make any financial transactions based on my recommendations. Am I correct? As a hobby, I enjoy making films on YouTube regarding cryptocurrency for fun. I'm just an enthusiast. Plus, for kicks, XRP is down about 12% as I film this video, at 58 cents. In the past day, I will tell you why I am so incredibly happy, even if it seems like none of this matters. Bitcoin is seeing unprecedented levels of volatility, both upwards and downwards, which is actually quite typical. Bitcoin was once again yours, this time for $63,335. I highly recommend watching a new video that was uploaded 2 hours ago by a trustworthy crypto chart expert, a bit more than 23 minutes. I wanted to make sure I covered some important points since, reliable crypto says that this is not the blow-off peak. Also, I found it amusing because I seen a video of Jim Cramer, that man is the most insincere and dishonest financial expert who has ever lived. Isn't he? His point is that, and I'm paraphrasing, it appears like Bitcoin's top is about to form, even though that's plainly not the case. That was encouraging news. I was relieved to learn that because I had thought the exact opposite based on Jim Cramer's statements. On the other hand, in terms of the blog format, sure, it is on its way. Even returning to this level has already passed, and a large chunk of the most important portion of Bitcoin's movement has already taken place. However, there won't be much of a multiplier impact going forward. From where we are now, even if Bitcoin breaks to $200,000 or so, you're looking at a threefold rise. Therefore, it lacks excitement. Altcoins hold the key to a better existence. However, observe the bluff top in the near future. XRP will reach a new all-time high and be included in this. That is, I've never been so sure of anything before. The most recent video I uploaded here spent a considerable amount of time explaining why. However, everything that we are examining here in Bitcoin has now reached a new all-time high. And that is the scam. In a nutshell, that was the very last piece of the jigsaw that was required. Looking back at what came before XRP hit a new all-time high, the answer is yes. All right, it has happened now. Thus, the question of whether Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high remains hotly debated. At least that is now behind us. Here is the solution that we know. Here is where XRP will follow now that it happened. By the way, whenever Bitcoin consolidates, which it is doing right now, capital pours into alternative cryptocurrencies. Consequently, the events of the next several weeks will be of great importance. Bitcoin may need a few weeks or perhaps months before it can confidently go beyond $69,000. According to Fantastic Crypto, even though it reached a new all-time high today, perhaps even a small correction further to the downside is possible. There is no assurance that it will reach 50,000. In that case, I'll show you something sticky right now. This has happened before, though. There's nothing to be worried about, and if anything, the best is yet to come. As a result, I feel compelled to draw attention to the following. This is a post from yesterday. I made a video about it yesterday. but its relevance has only grown since then. Reason being, he explains to crypto, who is being credible, what the old season common is. Not only that, but one of the scenarios he has imagined is actually happening at this very now. After only one day, we have more information that clarifies this. Even if you own Bitcoin and find it appealing, I do, but I also find it amusing because it is the least technologically advanced coin in circulation. So, this is really important to me, and I think it should be to you as well. I'm assuming that most of you are similar to me and are much more interested in XRP and your altcoins than in Bitcoin. Nevertheless, I have been enjoying it and have kept it since 2017. So, when exactly does the real celebration begin? Here is what trustworthy cryptocurrency posted yesterday. In fact, the timing of this is, shall we say, fortunate. So, why don't you just let me break it down when the season is over? Once Bitcoin breaks the all-time high, alts will start outperforming. As I have said before, when will they, however, lead to the same old scenarios? For example, suppose Bitcoin confidently breaks its previous all-time high and then proceeds to X in a couple of weeks. Here we have a massive breakout with hardly any downtime, and altcoins aren't getting much attention until Bitcoin pauses after this leg of the breakout, or number 2 Bitcoin tags before the all-time high, rejects, consolidates at the highs for a few weeks, and then accelerates to the upside, doubling in a few weeks. In one scenario, altcoins start rallying nearly immediately after Bitcoin ties its all-time high. In the other, Bitcoin consolidates, and altcoins begin soaring en masse a few weeks after Bitcoin's price breaks its all-time high. The main point and common thread is that whenever Bitcoin reaches its previous all-time high, whether it's at or well above it, altcoins start to climb at the first big pause and consolidation of Bitcoin. He shared this yesterday, and as you can see, we weren't entirely sure. It's just so amusing. Then, today, we do reach that record high. Here he is, just popping in to say that scenario number 2, stated below, is likely starting to play out. It's going to go nuts while Bitcoin consolidates. He republished the post and said the following this afternoon at 3:48 p.m. Central Time. Take a look at the alt-BTC pairings. Says hear me, if you're curious about which ones. Of course, I'd be delighted to do that. Indeed, the XRP BTC pairing appears to be worthless. And that's great news since it usually means XRP is about to start melting faces. We've had a difficult go of it in the XRP community, but everything is falling into place. Thanks to the SEC foolishness, everything else, and the severe market downturn of 2022. Plus, you are well versed on the FTX collapse and all the other details. And yet, here we are. According to him, that is the scenario unfolding here. The fact that there is a historical precedent for this tag being the highest is all that matters to them. Astounding to witness. Plus, there's a retreat. Experiencing something strange doesn't necessarily indicate a problem. Oh, look! The UK's post-term crypto update. A lot of alts will send it out in the next week or two. So be sure to bookmark this tweet. Moreover, our analyst Matthew Hyland has written this essay. Here we have the Bitcoin price chart. Cryptocurrency 3D. There has been less downside and greater upside following volume spikes on red days. While there may be further negatives, they usually pale in comparison to the positives that follow. For your perusal, here is an article that Will Clementi, a chain analyst, penned. The trade volume on Coinbase reached an all-time high today. The fee revenue for the ETFs goes up so much that they become obsolete. And Bitcoin hasn't even closed above all-time highs. Alright, that's an intriguing fact. Bitcoin obviously plummeted following our new all-time high. Consequently, there has been no closure above that level. Next, there's this concept that has been tossed around for a while. I mentioned it previously. It involves Bitcoin ETFs, where companies like BlackRock provide them with cheap costs. Given how inexpensive that is, Coinbase's business model will be undermined by their higher costs. And I firmly asserted that I do not think that is at all logical, for the simple reason that there will be additional costs associated with holding the cryptocurrency yourself. Perhaps you're thinking that buying an ETF and then setting it and forgetting it is the way to go if you're not concerned and are more into conventional finance. I think that covers it. This is what's happening to those who aren't interested in dealing with the hassle of actually owning cryptocurrency, or who aren't prepared to take the plunge into crypto by opening an account with Coinbase. Those are the kinds of people they're buying with conventional financing. Alright, that's great. Nonetheless, that will never happen with me. Seriously, I seriously doubt I'll ever do it. Of course, for most of you, it is correct. The argument that it would make Coinbase and other exchanges obsolete is, however, totally ludicrous, as is the claim that it would significantly alter crypto exchange fees. That ridiculous notion is unnecessary. After that, there's this that comes from a listening curve. I touched on this in my last video as well, but this picture helps to illustrate my point that you shouldn't be concerned about the setback today, which is why I made that statement at the beginning of the video. This has happened before. It makes no difference. Accordingly, he documented his thoughts at this location when Bitcoin reaches its first touch. It will likely see some whipsaws due to its history of decadence as it approaches its all-time high. You can see that there was some downward pressure in 2013, and subsequent years saw drops of 10%, 31%, 11%, and 20%. We will now observe the final outcome. However, this is a crucial juncture that must be challenged in light of the undeniable historical precedent. What comes next is really mind-blowing, and it's not even shorter. Even though it is said in the last video, Cryptus ran. It just takes a few weeks, usually a couple of weeks, for the price of Bitcoin to double when it reaches its all-time high. Even if it does reach them. There was once a case when it took 84 days, if memory serves. God forbid we should have to wait that long. In the last day, the Bitcoin market lost $715 million, according to a post by a watching guru, following Bitcoin's all-time high. This playing it with fire leverage is the most foolish thing ever. Is leverage necessary in cryptocurrency? It is completely illogical. Transform your life with the power of riches. Profits above 1000% are commonplace in the cryptocurrency market, but it isn't good enough for you. You need to leave immediately. I find that very absurd. However, XRP is the topic at hand. In particular, on January 4th, he predicted the peak price of XRP, and here we are with Harry, the turned analyst who is famous in the XRP community for predicting the start of the largest bull run in history, which took us to nearly $4. In addition, he shared the following on March 3rd, XRP retests 91 cents, and downside looks limited for the standard. He expects a big surge in March. No reasonable person could deny that today's events demonstrate that XRP was not the direct cause of this. Sure, it's lower now than it was an hour ago. Unfortunately, that's because Bitcoin technology has reached an all-time high. There it is. The video concludes. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Muchas gracias. Depart.